to assimilate, to take in the sheer scale of it all at dawn this morning. Landscape to ashscape, where the affluent idyll of Pacific Palisades used to be. But it all begins last night.
Multiple wildfires raging out of control tonight, fueled by hurricane-force winds. The fire in the Pacific Palisades, now the most destructive in the city's history.
The power has been cut off, but the night is still bright on the drought-stricken, tinder-dry hills around Los Angeles. The people have gone. Mandatory evacuation.
It's like Armageddon. When you can see the flames coming up over the houses and you're just getting out of the driveway and the smoke and the ash is so thick, I'm surprised all of us got out of there without burning up ourselves.
The luxurious coastal housing of Pacific Palisades burned through the night.
We have a line of fire along the Santa Monica Mountains.
Dan, you've seen a few fires. Ever seen anything on this scale in LA?
This is the worst one for me. Worst one I've ever seen.
No question.
No question.
हर दिन एक नया वीडियो आइडिया, पर ना व्यूज ना सब्सक्राइबर्स। क्या मैं कभी वायरल हो पाऊंगा?
वायरल होने का सपना।
The mailbox survives beyond the address it served. A random child's toy abandoned, apparently in the rush to leave. And along the street, what seemed to be an attempt to stash household goods into a car, anywhere to escape the flames, and then abandoned. An army of fire crews has been here for 3 days and nights now. The prime objective is to save lives first, get the people out. Their properties come very much second.
We want to make sure that everyone gets out of harm's way, and that has been our top priority. So far, we have been successful in that. Then we can begin taking care of property and houses.
Over 1,000 buildings destroyed in this small coastal community alone.
Much of this street's already been destroyed by the fire or is being destroyed right now. But what's happening here is the fire crews are trying to protect an undamaged building next door. It's quite arbitrary. Some houses are untouched. Across the other side of the street here, this house has already gone. The house next door untouched. And they may do the same to try and save that property. But it's far and few the number of properties and houses where they've got the resources and the people to do that.
For some days, nature has had the upper hand here. Europe has her Mistral and Sirocco seasonal winds. Los Angeles, the Santa Ana. Flames spreading with gales gusting close to hurricane force in recent days, leaving a cruelly arbitrary, random pattern of destruction as the wind changes direction constantly. One family home completely intact, next door an inferno.
People expect a fire to just come like a wall through a town and destroy everything in its path. This isn't like this. It's quite arbitrary, you know?
It's quite a bit more chaotic. It's extremely difficult to predict. It's extremely difficult to contain. The fact is that we're always one step behind these extreme weather events.
Sunrise in this charred place where Pacific Palisades used to be. The irony of fire disaster. Chimneys and fireplaces about the only structures left standing. And it is block after block after block. In a place where 30,000 once lived, the cliche of Southern Californian beach affluent. Ground level, the sound of running water in a drought-parched landscape is from burst pipes.
That's pretty much like a hurricane, except instead of rain, we had fire.
Ever experienced anything like that?
Not to this magnitude, and I think this would be, a lot would say that this would probably be the biggest and worst brush fire we've had in LA.
Dave Walters fought flames here for 3 days, but in the end could save only one house in this entire street. And what's becoming a familiar lament here from firefighters, the water in the hydrants just wasn't sufficient.
The only reason why we were able to save the only home on this street was because they had a pool, and we took that water pretty instantly.
The Corpus Christi Church burned out to its skeleton frame.
Leave the politicians to one side. Here in California,